Hi everyone, so today I have Spellbinders Deluxe Caboodle for December of 2025, you guys. Oh my gosh, this year flew by and I'm okay with that, just that's how it is. So I have the Deluxe Caboodle, meaning all the kits, so I'm going to go through them, measurements if we need them, so we know that they fit in your machine, whatever you might have, and things like that. But generally we just get right to it because there's a lot to get to. So I also have the bonus item, for the Deluxe Caboodle. Actually, it's right here. And we'll go through. So again, on the first, right now, the launch, are the new club kits. If you're already a member, you can make changes, which would just mean adding one, maybe canceling something. But if you're going to be brand new this month, you cannot sign up until the 6th, usually late on the 5th. So the next video you'll see from me is during that time frame, right, when it's available for everyone to sign up. So I will say that, Spellbinders did send these items free of charge for my review. And of course, all opinions are my own. And the links I'll have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. Thank you for using those if you would like. I do have them for the US and the UK down in the description box under the video title. And if you're a member, if you're already a member, you always get 10% off the site. You just got to log in and the 10% will be reflected as you're shopping. It doesn't come off at the end or anything like that, unless you didn't sign in until the end. But as you're looking, that's already discounted for you. So let's get right to it. And I'm sorry, I'm like under the weather all of a sudden. Actually, not so much all of a sudden. I know I got it from Miranda, my daughter. So there you go. Okay. As I was putting these things on my little board here, I can see that they're very sweet and cute, and the colors are like the Glimmer foil, so I'm thinking it's Valentine related, or at least sweet like that. Generally, I start off with the stencil of the month, and it is called Where Love Lands. Let's see how many stencils are on this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they are numbered at the bottom corner here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then today, after I go through everything, I will try some things out. Whatever is a little bit quicker for this kind of video because it does take a while. And I don't know if you can see. I can see it myself. There's a bird here and like it's holding like a little, maybe like a little branch with like a heart flower or something. And then the leaves down here are kind of heart-shaped, kind of abstract heart-shaped. So that's the first one. And it looks very A2 size. That's what it's going to work for. Obviously 5x7 because it's just an image, so you can put that on anything. What I mean is there's no like solid border that, this has to be, A2. So you go, more pieces of like the little bird, and then what it's holding, some leaves down there, more of the bird and his little head, little tail, maybe some of the greenery, and then the detail. Oh, this little one should be popped out too. There you go. Okay, so that's a very pretty little bird. I'm sure it's going to be gorgeous when we stencil that out. Okay, and then embossing folder is called Sweet Stems, and I have not looked at these, so the things I have to put on the board, obviously I'm looking at them as I'm popping them down, trying to make sense of them as I'm going through it. So, embossing folder of the month, again, this is your standard embossing folder. It's a little bit thinner than the 3D embossing folder. It goes up, across, and back down, right? That's how it makes what it makes, right? Let me see here. Oh, I'm just gonna put something dark behind it because that's what I've been asked to do, so you can see things better. And again, Sweet Stems, super cute. The embossing folder embosses an area 8.5 by 5.5, and it is 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. So you definitely want to make sure you have a machine that can accommodate that. It is an oversized embossing folder, and it's super cute with little posies, and then like the same little stem like the bird is holding in the stencil. Super cute. The 3D embossing folder is thicker than your standard embossing folder. It needs a special sandwich or a machine that can accommodate 3D embossing folders. And with these guys, and it's different, is the way it's like molded, right? This rounded and kind of relief areas and areas that are a little higher and all that kind of stuff. So really cute. This one's called Unlock My Heart, and hopefully you can see all the little locks. Look at the little pieces of the puzzle. That is so cute. The little locks. Tons of hearts. That's going to be really fun to use. Beautiful. Same sizing as the standard embossing folder that we just discussed. I'm going to put these over here. So, okay. Clear stamp of the month. I love this kind of thing this month. It is all these sentiments, right? So again, it's a photopolymer stamp set, Has things like just because you're you, for my forever friend, thinking about you today. So it's not necessarily Valentine-y, but like a lot of everyday really great sentiments that you're stuck with me. Have a self-love day on me. I love that because you'll see later on that these are punny in a way. Okay. Wrapped in care and tied with love because you deserve more me time, still crushing on you, you make life better, things like this. The die of the month for the clear stamp. There you go. You can do the stamp or you can do the stamp and die, I believe, still. Yes. And you have this stamp and die. It's going to cut all of the sentiments, which is really great. So that's what you're looking at here. Let me put that to the side. And then I normally discuss the... You know, I always call it small die of the month, but basically they just called this die of the month because this is the large die, but this is like their, you know, meat and potatoes set, right? The die of the month. Super cute. There are a couple different characters on this, so hopefully you can see that. It is called Better Together. So this little body and this little face and this little otter, okay? So you have the body here, little face. You can put a pair of them, right? So you can do this twice. And it can wear a little shirt or a little body that says no otter and then like you, right? So that's why I'm saying you want to have a pair of these little guys on. I think that's his little arms from the back there. There's flowers and like a little stem or a branch, excuse me. Little stems here and greenery and flowers, the little centers and stuff like that. So over here, the other character, hopefully you can kind of see that, is an owl. And it cuts out two of them at the same time. So this is one die, this is one die. So it's going to have the faces and all that stuff. And you might wonder where the body is. So for the owl, it's going to look like it's holding a heart. So the heart is actually the body. So hopefully that makes sense. Like this is going to be like in here. Okay, and then you can differentiate them as a little boy or little girl or however you want to look at that with the flowers and the other things that come with that. So that's the small or the die of the month. The large die, I'm not kidding, I thought it was a little old lady. I was like, oh, that's cute. Something like a little grandma thing. No, it's a lady that looks like she's like at the spa, you know. So this is her face. This is her whole background. So this little thing on top looks like the little like if she's wearing like a little turban, you know, a towel turban, right? So you have that, you have the face, you have the hair that comes down in here, and then you have these pieces, and I'm sorry, I'm so close up, that kind of go around her head to make it look like her hair's wrapped. Hope that makes sense, right? And her face is in here. See that? Then you have accents like little eyes, eyelashes, and stuff like that. And then you're going to have like cucumbers that can go over the eyes, and then her little robe area, right? Her little body that goes in here, the little robe, accents for the robe and stuff like that. Okay, so that's what's here. And then like little flowers and cute things that you might want to add to your character, which is adorable, really fun. That's what I was saying, that the stamp set's kind of punny about self-care and stuff like that. Yeah, so like one of the stamps says, you know, unwind and refresh on me. So maybe it's a gift card or something. I don't know. But there you go. Okay, so the stitching die, let me put this to the side because I don't want it to fall off, is this guy right here. This little block of dies right here. Oh, hold on. Back it up. The other ones have been kind of smaller, so I don't think it's that important to measure them because they're going to fit in pretty much any machine. But this guy's a little bit bigger, and I'm sure it's still fit in a standard machine. 5.5 inches by, I'm looking at the metal edges, 3.5. Okay, so very machine friendly for pretty much any machine. Okay, these guys, again, you can tell on my hand, you know, they're not huge, so I'm not going to take a moment to measure each one of those things. Unless you just kind of want to have an idea of how big these things are. They're not characters here. Almost 2 inches there. By like just over 2 inches in the other direction. And our little otter, he's, you know, 2.25 inches tall, something like that. So the stitching die, excuse me, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm sounding worse and worse as we go along. A perfect blend. So you have these two mugs, right? And then you have the little top of the mug. You have some accents for like the liquid in there. You have steam that can look like this, or maybe steam that makes a heart, you know, depending on how you're using these. Excuse me, yeah, so those are the strings. And then here you have the little tags for your tea bag that's kind of coming out of the mug like that. And then the stitching part of it is this here. So the little heart accent here on the mugs, I guess if you wanted to put them together like this, look cute. It's just that. So you have the heart, and it could just be your solid, you know, whatever paper, maybe pattern paper or whatever color you want, or you can do the stitching and do the inlay with that. And it has some sentiments like a perfect blend and let's chat soon with the die for that, which I love, dovetailed ends. And then it says, love you. So this is just a sentiment, which is really nice. It's a really nice size. Look at that. And it's all one word, or, you know, one die like stuck together. So love you. Very cute. I just want to make sure that's what it says, because this is very long. I'm like, no, okay, yeah, that's what it says. Your Glimmer, sorry, so I'll hold it up in just a moment. It's called Soft Hearted. And so you have this whole background, and usually they make it a 1/4 inch larger than A2. So yeah, it's almost 4.5, just shy of that. Actually, this time it's an 1/8 of an inch larger, so there you go, by 5 5/8. Okay, so 4 3/8 by 5 5/8. And look at this cute design, very, very sweet, very Spellbinders. The little heart flower thing going there. And then it has these two sentiments. So felt like saying hello, and then it has a die for that if you want. So that's your Glimmer. Glad we're friends. I'm pretty sure that's what that says. And then you have a die for that. And the color that is intended this month is this bright pink. But like I said, it always says colors may vary, but this is the intended color. You might receive something else, right, for the foil. And I always mention, whenever you're in a club that has something extra like the foil or like the wax beads, if you're buying it later and not part of the club, like just next month when they just release it, you don't have to be a member, it's going to cost more, and it's not going to come with the foil or with the wax beads, right? So something to think about. And then it's going to involve shipping unless you hit the free shipping number, which I think is like 125 or 150 right now. So that's that for the Better Press wax seal of the month. It does come with a Christmas mix, and I mean, I guess you can use it right now, right, for Christmas time. But that's what is intended. So there you go with the red, gold, and white, and green. But the wax seal of the month itself is this one here called Heartburst. So let's check this out. This is a different shape. Love that. Oh yeah, I'm getting sicker. Had to pause to cough. I hadn't coughed yet. Haven't been coughing, so that's a new one. Oh my goodness. There we go. Oh, that's so awesome. So it's a 3D one. Yeah, it's a 3D wax seal stamp. You can tell just because how deep that impression is. And it's rounded really nicely, and then it has a cute little bursts all around. So definitely a heart burst. And it is, I was just trying to measure over here. It is 1 inch tall by 3/4 inches wide. Okay, with a very different kind of shape there. Very pretty. And then we have our Better Press of the month. It's called I'd Pick You. And it looks like this. It has a beautiful heart with all the little hearts in that, right? So it's the heart shape. So basically this doesn't have an edge. So it's just very open, but a heart shape because of the way they're laid in here. I like it has love in there, some words, and cute little heart with the arrow and all that good stuff. And this guy is, again, Better Press. You can put in your Glimmer, but don't bring your Glimmer plates to the Better Press. Some people say they do that anyway, but you know, do what you want. But they're just different thicknesses, and you don't want to ruin anything. It's almost 4 inches tall. And then it has a sentiment set that has the die that runs through all together at once, which I love. This is a little bit smaller, so let me see if I can make anything out. I love you even when I'm hungry. That's very cute. I'd pick you again, and things like that. Okay, so I know, here I can pause it, see if you can make out everything that's on there. But of course you'll see it whenever we tutorialize these things. And, oh, the bonus item. You know what? I didn't write down the name, but let's check it out. So again, if you're a Deluxe Caboodle member, you'll receive this die set. And sometimes you can purchase them afterwards, so I don't want to always say you can because sometimes you can't. But here we go. Oh, that's right. Okay, so it makes a little slipper. I don't know if you can see this, like this little bunny slipper. So again, talking about pampering or, you know, a self-care day, that kind of stuff. Maybe you pair it with this little lady, or maybe she's wearing this instead of the cucumbers or whatever else is there. So there's a little sleep mask and little accents for all those things, right, with little hearts and cute things. And then little straps, right, that looks like this would be the strap, right? the little dots go behind. Super duper cute. Okay guys, well, let me clear the decks, and I think that's everything. Yeah, we will get started with something. Okay guys, I think I'm going to make the large die of the month today, or use the large die of the month to make a shaped card, because it is a big set or die, this this background one, and I figured why not. Oh, actually has a little line here. I think that's what that's for. Oh, perfect. Okay, so we're going to cut this out, but it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to cut it through like a skin tone. You know, you're going to cover a lot of this up. You can probably just run it through white paper or whatever you want, because I think by the time, if I do the one with the, to make her look like she's wearing a little bandeau top, you're going to put this. But if you just want to cut this through skin color or skin tone, all you're going to do is put these things on to make it look like, you know, I don't know how to explain this one, yeah, like that or whatever, to finish this up. So you're just going to see this part of the neck, so you definitely want to run that through a skin tone. But for this other one, if I do the one where she's looking like she's wearing a little bandeau top, which is like this, you just need whatever, because you're going to cover this up and you're going to cover with her face too. But maybe I'll run it through a skin tone color. Let me see, because maybe a little piece might peek out there. I don't know. I don't think it will, because this is going to be here, and then her headband thing. So maybe I'll run them both through white paper just to have it. So, because the back of the card. So I'm going to run this twice through white paper, okay? And then I'm not going to use these pieces because that has to do with like her little robe or whatever, and I'm not putting a robe on her. So this one through a skin tone, right? This is the base. This through a hair color, because you're going to see that part. This through a little wrappy. What's funny is right now I'm literally wearing a robe and like a headband that looks like a turban. So I didn't even think about it until, I just woke up. It's like pretty early in the morning here. We have these two pieces. One goes over the other one like this. You can see there's going to be a little line there to show you that. Obviously it's going to be like this when you actually put it down. So if you want to wrap it through, two different colors or just the same color, whatever you want. So maybe I'll do a light color and then a dark color, pink or purple or blue, whatever it is I want to do for this, for the head wrap. Again, different things. So this one has her little eyebrows and her eyelashes. So you can do that. And then you can do this one for her little mouth if you want her to have a little mouth like that. I guess you don't have to do anything if you don't want, right? Has little lines for it. But you need her cheeks. So if you're going to do, I need her eyebrows. So I'm going to run this through anyway. But these guys, if you're going to put cucumbers, then they're going to cover that eyeball area. So you don't need the lashes. But I will run this through a dark green and a light green. I think that's how that should go, right? Twice, because I need two of them for each eye. And then I'll run this through some pink for her little cheeks. And if the mouth, if I use it, great. So we're not going to use this today. Okay, so in the middle of her little headband thing, do you want a little accent, a little flower? There's some different flowers here you can use. Whatever it is that you want to do for that. So I'll run this through some scrap paper. I mean, you have two different flowers. Maybe you do a bunch of flowers. Doesn't matter, but you have some little leaves. So whatever I want to do for that. Oh, and then since I'm doing the bandeau one, again, skin tone for that one also. And then whatever color maybe coordinates with her little turban, we'll have that. And or twisty, whatever you want to call those things you put in your hair. And like I said, if she does the lips or not, that's up to you. Maybe she doesn't, because maybe she's just with a little expression or whatever. And I think that's it. I don't want to speak too soon. Oh, you know what it is? This last piece right here. So behind her little bun, since I'm running this through white paper also, we need this thing. So again, whatever accent you want to do that. So maybe you have 3 colors of pink or 3 shades of blue or 3 shades of purple, whatever it is that you want her little turban head wrap to look like. And I don't think I need any of these things. This, maybe the leaves, maybe not, just depends on whatever I want to put for her little flowers. Okay, I'll be right back. One more tip, since I'm not doing the eyelashes because I'm doing the cucumbers. Oh, I put this to the side for some reason. You want to run this through probably the same as the hair color, right? So brown or whatever. Obviously, if you're going to run it through black, then there you go. But you know what I'm saying, match those eyebrows to the hair color. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, think of all my pieces here. And again, the eyelashes and eyebrows are together, but I do not need the eyelashes today, but I will show you what that looks like, I suppose, since we have them. And then her little hair, same color. Yeah, so for the eyelashes, if you are not using the cucumbers like I have here, put that to the side. You just pop them on the little face, and there are lines on here. And unfortunately, I used the textured paper, and I forgot to turn it over because a lot of times the other side is less textured. So there's a little texture on this one. I did flip it over for this, and hopefully you can see. A lot of times you have like linen paper, you can kind of see how one side is more textured like this, and the other side is less. Oh well, that's all right. And this is the last bit I had of this color. So, okay, so you put the little eyelashes here. You know, there's lines for it, which I really love the look of that. But I wanted to go with the cucumbers today, so we'll do that. And then, you know what, maybe right now while we're here, I should stick the eyebrows down so I don't misplace them. And we'll discuss the card base in a moment. But yeah, so it's basically a shaped card. And again, when I measured it at first, it seemed like it was basically, you know, gonna make something that's about 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Not so much 4 1/4 in the width, but 5 1/2 in the height. So we have the 2 card bases, or the 2 bases here. And so we'll work with those in just a moment. Okay. Now, let's put these guys together because, you know, I want the skin tone closer to mine on this one. And generally when I put on blush, I'm not really wearing pink blushes. I'm wearing red or like burgundy or like darker shades of blush. I know it's hard to find the right thing in paper. Honestly, if you wanted to just use like a little bit of blush itself with maybe a applicator, like a eyeshadow applicator, you could do that. Or like those little pebbles or those little chalks, you know, that are made for paper. But we have these little harsh lines in the actual blush, so we will use those in just a moment. And try to get them dead center if I can, but you know, the cucumbers are so cute. I suppose if you wanted a paper piece back in the white seeds, you could do that, or put a white piece of cardstock behind that area so it has little white seeds. I didn't think about that till right now, but oh well, it's too late now. But that would be cute. And I think the easiest way to do it is just put a little circle, you know, just a rough cut circle behind, in between those 2 layers. Okay, and that's her little, like, towel, I suppose, or whatever you want to call that she might be wearing there. Okay, hair. And again, there's definitely some lines there for that. That's so cute. The flower does have a flower center with it, but I'm going to put a little rhinestone just to dress it up a little bit, so I'm not worried about that right now. And then this guy, okay, so as you're using this, hope you can see there's a line here, which means this one's going to go on top of that, right? So we know that. And I would come in here and just put glue along that curve that's already there. You can see it, the lines. So I'd bring this over and line it up. Maybe take a little glue away. Oh, this is so cute. And you can even see from here, it follows the curve pretty well. Maybe it needs to be out a little bit more like this, but that's all right. Okay, so again, down this pointy area, going in here, and up along this edge. We bring the other side, and I just used a bunch of different pinks, and some of them honestly don't even go together that well. Like there's more coral where there's like a bright pink, but I thought it'd be cute. And that is adorable. And then where's my little back piece? Okay, and then there's this piece right here that goes at the very top, and it also has lines so you can see exactly where this goes. This goes together so fast. And how cute would that be to make it more like a Christmassy look if you're giving people like a little Ulta, Sephora gift card or something like that, you know? I would do this like in, you know, reds and greens or something, or, you know, the soft Christmas colors or something like that. And then her little flower can be like a poinsettia look. And I only cut 1 layer. I mean, you can cut 2 layers, make it look much more poinsettia. So yeah, initially I cut out peach color for the cheeks, but then I was like, I don't know. And then now that I have it close to the thing, I don't know if, like me, I wouldn't have that, but maybe. And then her little, actually that looks pretty cute. I was wondering if, again, going with red would be better because that's what I would normally wear. Something that actually shows up, you know? So, I mean, but then with the red near the cucumbers, looks like maybe something's wrong with her, you know? I don't know. Let's go with pink. All right, that's fine. So good thing I had the two options. I did the peach first, or pinky color, and then I was like, I don't know. That actually looks really cute. So, again, I think these are symmetrical. I don't know that there's a left and a right. They look like they just kind of fit in there. And there we go. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna let that sit in. And I also have the little lips. Again, she doesn't need them if you want to look more natural, you know, because obviously she's getting some kind of facial or something. I mean, obviously we already put blush, so how natural is that? But you can do maybe the red lips since I ran that through. I kind of like the look without anything, but that is pretty cute. Or you can do that. And I feel like that looks more natural, like for this. So I'll just save these for something else. Okay, so let's glue these down. That is so cute. And it covers up those little baby? Basically, I was gonna say, or maybe the eyelashes. So just definitely cover those up so you don't see those lines. And that also kind of gives you a good placement for these, I suppose. Oh my gosh, that is adorable. I'm poking her eyes. Okay, so let's bring, again, we have the eyelashes. We'll definitely do a different person with all this stuff here. We'll do this later. I'm not gonna do a little mouth. We'll add these things in a minute. I'm gonna stamp a sentiment in this one. Wrapped, didn't care, and tied with love. That's cute. Have a self-love day on me, which is what I was thinking about putting on here. Okay. All right. I was looking for my stamping blocks. That doesn't really matter. What am I doing? Like that. I'm just kind of centering it, I think, on one of these lines. And I'm just going to go for it, but of course you want to use stamp positioner, you can do that. And I'll put it down here, and that way you can write whatever you want up here. And I would write it before I glued it together. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. They're going to open it up anyway. There we go. Very cute. And then, oh, I knew it. I was like, I'm going to stick my fingers right in this ink. So now I have to be super careful. I don't want to pause to wash my hands. Okay, so these guys, you know, this one flat. Look at, be super careful. Okay, well, I'm gonna cover that up anyway. But let's. It took longer for me to talk about that than if I went to go wash my hands. I think I'm gonna score this one very carefully, just in case. I think just at the very top there's a score line, so that's all that's holding this together. And what I'll do is I'll wash my hands in the meantime, because we're just going to take this. I'm going to put some weight on this. So I only scored the one in the background. Okay. And I don't mind putting my hands all over this. I'm going to put some weight on this. That's not enough weight. I'm just going to do that and then put a little machine kind of on top of that. And I'll be right back. Okay. So let's get this little gal going. And again, you don't have to make a shaped card. You can definitely put this on a card base. I mean, how cute is that with maybe your some of your stencils of the month or something in the background of your card, right? So, okay, let's put this on. I think I'm going to stick her head down with dimensional adhesive so it's a little bit more forward than just flat over this. But I'm going to pop that down. I see a little bit of lines. So if you wanted your card base to be black, at least this layer of it, you can definitely do that. Or something so that these lines would look just like outlines, you know? But I think the white makes it pop too, so that's good. And with this guy, like I said, I'm going to put some dimensionals on this. And before I do that, let's go ahead and get our little flower down. I wasn't going to put too much movement in this, so I'm just going to give it a little zhuzh with my fingers like that. And this, and maybe the flower. If you want to do some curling and stuff like that, I'm just going to push it down on my palm like that. And let's see. Like that. I think I'm going to cut these little ends off. I don't need them as big as they are. Let's see. Maybe there. I like the little twisty part showing, so I'm trying to see where would be the most natural to put this little flower. And like I said, I'll get a rhinestone going in that. So let me grab that and I'll be right back. Go ahead and push that down because it's very dimensional. So cute. And just a little maybe green center, and that kind of brings some green from the cucumber out. Let me push that down. Cute. Okay, and now I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. Okay, one more. There we go. And bring this over here, and that is so flippin' cute, you guys. Oh my gosh, hold on. Try to line it up in a way that looks really good. Alright. Now, if you built this up right on this base, you probably, hit those areas, because I was judging by the face, not by the background. But if you want to do it that way, obviously it'd be a little more flat in the card, but I like the way this came out. How cute is that? It feels really sturdy. I like the little, differentiation of the layers or the levels of like the body and the back and her face towards the front. And then since we only scored that back one, it's very easy to open like this, so you're not doing anything funky to this one. Alright guys, well thanks for watching again. Generally around late in the 5th or the 6th, whenever the clubs open up for everyone else, I will make another follow-up video with some of the other items and then go from there. So thanks for watching guys, I hope you're having a great one. One more month left in this year and we're looking to January. I cannot believe it. Alright, and the new year and everything. So thanks for watching guys. I'll have images coming up, the links as appropriate in the description box for the US and the UK, and I will see you all at the next one. And yes, she can stand up if you're curious. Bye now.